Mara, a jewel of Kenya's tourism. It's a shared ecosystem with Tanzania's Serengeti National Park, whose wildlife is the pride of the East African region. So famous is the Mara Game Reserve that it attracts thousands of tourists from near and far. Its diverse wildlife, popular tourist attractions and a welcoming local community make the Mara stand tall among its regional competitors. Apart from the big five, cheetahs, hyenas, servals and bat-eared foxes are also found here. One of the Mara's most prized events is the annual Wildebeest Migration. It is a spectacle to behold. Around 1 million wildebeest and other migratory animals like zebra cross the Mara River from the Serengeti National Park into the Masai Mara Game Reserve. They come in search of pasture and to mate. But with predators circling the scene, it is a life and death exercise. There are crocodiles in the water, lions, cheetahs, and even hyenas lie in wait on land. It is a journey of challenges and dangers. It is Mother Nature at one of her finest and most exhilarating moments. So phenomenal is the migration that it draws thousands of foreign and local tourists, raking in millions of dollars every year for the sector. Now, many locals, directly or indirectly, are dependent on tourism. Some foreigners too are here as workers or investors. Regardless of who benefits or how, this is the annual season for a windfall. Once again, the season is here and the Mara is the place to be. However, this year's migration comes at a time when Kenya, like the rest of the world, is battling the COVID-19 pandemic, a migration amid a contagion. Kenya reported its first case of COVID-19 on the 15th of March. Almost immediately, the country went into a partial lockdown. Coronavirus cases are still on the rise, now surpassing 30,000. It's clear the economy has not been spared, with tourism, one of Kenya's biggest foreign exchange earners, taking the hardest hit. Flight bans and border closures were implemented across the world to curb the spread of the virus, forcing Kenya's tourist hotspots to shut down or drastically scale down operations. The effects have been devastating. So hard are the times that Kenya's Tourism Cabinet Secretary could only lament about it. In the past month, restrictions have been relaxed, flights have resumed and hotels have reopened. However, unlike previous years, there are noticeably fewer foreign tourists in the Mara. Hit by the dwindling number of foreign tourists from the traditional markets of China, Europe and the United States, Kenya is now looking inwards. It's turning to the local market. With special packages and reduced prices, the country is hoping to keep this vital sector afloat until the dark cloud of the coronavirus goes away. But for a local population that is already suffering the economic effects of COVID-19, how cheap is cheap? It's business unusual here at the Mara. Social distancing, hand washing, sanitizing, as well as the wearing of face masks are some of the measures being pushed by government, protocols that hotels must adhere to.
It just happened to be fortunate enough for us that COVID happened. Normally during this time, it's not very easy for us to get access to such places.
Pleasure to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Actually, before we came back, we had to follow the strict rules put by the Ministry of Health and the Kenyan government to combat the spread of the coronavirus. And we put measures, like when you checked in, you see that there was you wash your hands, you sanitize, we check your temperatures, and put on your masks.
Human-wildlife conflict is a thorny issue in these parts. The indigenous people of this land, the Masai, are considered custodians of Kenya's wildlife. But when their livestock are attacked or their settlements destroyed by wild animals, the Masai have fought back. Wild animals have been poisoned. This continues to be a source of tension between the local community, conservationists, and the government.
Human-wildlife conflict is a big issue here in the Mara, and it's a bit high normally when it's raining. When we have long grass in the reserve and in the conservancies, then you will have playing games going out to the community areas. And they take along with them predators. Elephants also try to find their way to other areas outside the national reserve. And they come in contact with people.
If you're looking to understand what's changed in the Mara due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the answer is in the silence. The rumbling of flights arriving and departing, the consistent hum of off-road vehicles have all been replaced by the sounds of nature in their untouched glory.
Yeah, it's very interesting, although, well, I mean, people are affected in terms of, their livelihood. But in terms of nature and wildlife, I think they thrived because less disturbance. We have had cheetahs doing their hunts very well without so many cameras.
A blessing for some, certainly, but the silence is a cause of concern for the local community whose livelihoods revolve around the presence of foreign and local tourists. The silence is a reality check that is now sinking in.
Immediately after lockdown have just came in, no international flight coming in. Mara had been a very, very terrible place to be. People are living like in a very terrible state. I mean, like they don't grow crops, so source of income was tourism, coming here and promoting them here.
As the sun sets in the Mara, only time can tell when it will rise again on global tourism. This is a sector that generates 9% of Africa's income, and with efforts to find a vaccine for the coronavirus in top gear, over 100 million jobs in the tourism and hospitality sector across the world are at risk.
And as we always mention, magical Kenya, and I'm in the majestic Mara, so guys, you're most welcome to come, visit us, enjoy. We say Tembea Kenya, and all the COVID protocols are in place.
As the cold occasioned by the coronavirus reigns globally, Kenyans and locally based foreigners are metaphorically chopping their own firewood just to keep warm. Many here are hoping for better days ahead. For hope is a good thing, and good things never die.
Masai Mara, hakuna matata.